Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will have a debate between affirmative team and opposite team. Besides that, let me introduce myself. I'm Shevi Andryana as your moderator. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to show you about today's motion. Today we have this house would make father take paternity leave as today's motion. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start our debate. So, each team has finished up their building and now they are ready to debate. So, I will call the first speaker from the affirmative team to deliver the opinions. For the first speakers of the affirmative team, time is yours.
Good morning, Chairperson, Opposition, and audience. I'm Amelia Zuhrotul Hanin as the first speaker. The topic for today's debate is that this house will make fathers take paternity leave. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. We agree with make fathers take paternity leave. This house will make fathers take paternity leave legalized because father can provide support to their wife and has more time to take care of their children. I will be speaking about paternity leave in general, paternity leave in a company, and the purpose of paternity leave. Our second speaker will be talking about the reason of father take paternity leave and the benefit of father taking paternity leave. Our third speaker will be summing up our thinking and refuting the arguments put forward by the negative team. My first point is based on Cambridge Dictionary. Paternity leave is a period of time that a father is legally allowed to be away from his job, so that he can spend time with his new baby. This argument based on what to expect website entitled Pregnancy Paternity Leave. And for the example, 9 out of 10 American deaths do take some time off following the birth of a child. Most parents in this world say that the birth of a child is one of most important moments, and those first few weeks following birth are crucial for parent-baby bonding, from midnight judo session to baby's first love. Both parents need that time with baby to hone their skill. My second point is paternity leave in a company. Most of companies, especially in America, support the right of their employees to become parents regardless of gender. The company has established policies to help new dads fulfill their new duties as parents. This argument based on research workable website entitled Employer Paternity Leave Policy. For the example is global accounting firm EY announced a new parental leave policy in July of this year. Mothers and fathers in the US are eligible for up to 16 weeks of fully paid parental leave, explained Hanin 29. With conditions determined by the company, employers can pick up the week of birth within first 10 after the birth or adoption of their child. The company it remains based on the law in the company. During paternity leave, the company will retain the employer's position, regular salary, and benefit. My third point is the purpose of paternity leave. The purpose is that a husband can provide support to his wife. The husband has more time to accompany his wife, who is adjusting to being a mother and can share tasks, making it easier for the wife. This argument based on what to expect website entitled Pregnancy Paternity Leave. And for the example, after giving birth, the mother's physical condition cannot immediately recover and be strong. At this time, the husband can accompany his wife, help take care of the baby, and provide support more freely. Paternity leave is what makes it possible to learn this skill firsthand. And research has shown that fathers and non-birthing parents who take it are more likely to be involved in parenting for the long run and experience plenty of benefit, from a healthier heart to a longer life and better relationship with their partner. Chairman, opposition, and members of the audience, in conclusion, our team is strongly convinced that paternity leave is an important thing for father because they can provide support to their wife and has more time to take care of their children.
Well, thanks for the first speaker of the affirmative team. Next, I will call the first speaker of the opposite team to deliver the opinion. Time is yours.
Morning, Chairperson, Opposition and Audience. I'm Anita Septy as a first speaker. The topic for today's debate is that this House would make fathers take paternity leave. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. We disagree with the definition given by the opposition because father's leave has shortcomings, especially in a father's career and finance, which affect the welfare of the family. I will be speaking about paternity leave program for a father who have just had a baby and have a bad impact. The decline in the quality of a father's work. Our second speaker will be talking about long-term negative effect on father's career, losses for the company, and a decrease in the income of the head of the family. Our third speaker will be summing up our team's case and refusing the arguments put forward by the negative team. The first speaker of the affirmative team has tried to tell me about paternity leave is a period of time that a father is legally allowed to be away from his job so that he can spend time with his family, his new baby. This is wrong because the existence of a paternity leave policy can be considered to affect a father's career. According to the data I found, paternity leave profits a policy of 12 weeks or even 18 weeks of vacation to take care of the baby. The father does not need a vacation that long. Fathers should be able to use their time after work to take care of their children and help their wives at home. She also tried to tell me about most of companies, especially in America, support the right of the employers to become parents regardless of gender. The company has established policies to help new dads fulfill their new duties as parents. This is also wrong because not all countries have the same minimum income. The country that supports paternity leave is the United States. The United States has a national minimum income of 7.25 US dollars per hour with an average living cost of around $400 until $500 per week. Is sufficient for most to live in the US. So if paternity leave is implemented in Indonesia, it is considered to be detrimental to the company and the state. And the third, she also tried to tell me about the purpose is that a husband can provide support to his wife. The husband has more time to accompany his wife who is adjusting to being a mother and can share tasks, making it easier for the wife. This is also wrong because father can help his wife take care of the child when he comes home from work until he goes to work. However, if the father feels too tired to help his wife, the family can hire a house cleaning service so the mother can focus on taking care of her child and not get tired to cleaning up a messy house. Maybe hiring a house cleaning service adds to the amount of expenses. However, it is considered more effective in helping mothers when fathers work. My first point, paternity leave is a leave program for fathers who have just had a baby and have a bad impact. Such as CNN Indonesia. For example, I will lose my salary and position and have the image of a home dad. It is true that parents are role models for their children, especially the mother, as a teacher from pregnancy to a tutor. Fathers also have an important role in raising children. There are many things that a father can teach his son, from life lesson to repair work. However, the father also has a role to provide for his wife and children. This income is generated from work and father must have a strong and hardworking image for the family. If a paternity leave is held, it will make the father lose money and the financial sector and in the office, because the risk of a paternity leave is that the father will lose his salary position and lose the image of a hard worker. My second statement is the this line of the quality of father works. Because it's too long a vacation, the quality of person's performance will decrease. Men who use flexible work arrangement, whether taking temporary family leave or working from home or part-time, receive poorer job evaluations and lower hourly pay increases. A study found that men who requested family leave were at greater risk of being demoted or dismissed because they were perceived to have negative traits, use the stigmatize women such as weakness and uncertainty, rather than masculine traits such as competitiveness and ambition. Chairperson, opposition, and members of the audience, in conclusion, it's true that parents are role models for their children, but don't let their works interfere with taking care of their children. If you use paternity, it will have a bad impact on your work skill in the office. It had a bad effect.
Well, that's the first argument from the opposite team. What do you think about the motion? To the second of affirmative team, time is yours.
Good morning, Chairperson, Opposition, and audience. I am Dion Fafa as the second speaker of the Affirmative Team. The topic for today's debate is this House would make fathers take paternity leave. We, the Affirmative Team, believe that this statement is true. I will rebut the rebuttal from the opposite team. The first speaker of the opposite team has tried to tell you that the policy of paternity leave can be considered to affect a father's career. This statement was wrong because, in reality, paternity leave makes the morale of the worker higher and more productive. Cuts health costs because worker will be more prosperous when given leave at a certain time and reduce the possibility of worker acting fraudulently. She also tried to tell that paternity leave policy implemented in Indonesia is considered to be detrimental to companies and to the country. This statement was also wrong because there are already regulations listed in the Manpower Act. This regulation regarding maternity leave is officially listed in the Badan Kepegawaian Negara, State Regulation Number 24 of 2017. So if it's clearly stated in the law, then the policy has been considered beforehand by the government and can be ready to be implemented. The first speaker of the opposite team has tried to tell you that father can help his wife look after the children when he comes home from work, or he can hire the housekeeper. This statement was also wrong because paternity leave here can also increase the closeness between fathers and children. Besides that, as the husband, he can also support his wife mentally after giving birth. Of course, as new parents, we can hand over all the work to domestic assistant, especially in raising children. Today, I'll be talking to you about the reason of father take paternity leave and the benefit of father taking paternity leave. My first point is the reason of the father take paternity leave. Paternity leave gives fathers the opportunity to be primary caregivers and to recognize and appreciate the unique challenge for the role for both parents. It also takes the pressure of new mothers who often feel like they are facing this challenge alone. This argument based on what to expect website entitled Pregnancy Paternity Leave. For example, online marketplace eBay launched a new paternity leave policy on January 1st of this year. The new policy offers new that up to 12 weeks of paid paternity leave at 100% of the employee base salary. Recent research supports this argument. A father's increased involvement in baby care can mitigate material postpartum depression's outcomes. The lack of parental involvement was a significant predictor of the intensity of depressive symptoms. It is important to note that mothers' improved postpartum outcomes were not simply because of the presence of the fathers, but from his participation in the care of the baby. My second point is about the benefit of father on paternity leave. One of the things that it most clearly felt is that the presence of a father can provide full support for his wife before, during, and after giving birth. This argument based on McKinsey website entitled Benefit Taking Paternity Leave. For example, Japan Minister of Environment Shinjiro Koizumi is taking paternity leave because he understood the benefit of it. There are some of the benefits if father take paternity leave. The first is long-term survey of 1,000 of America's families state that the relationship between father and children becomes closer. The next is the risk of divorce decreases, and then is helping spouses career advancement, and the last one is less depression for the mother. So chairman, opposition, and member of the audience, in conclusion, our team is strongly convinced that paternity leave gives fathers the opportunity to be the primary caregivers, to recognize and appreciate the unique challenge of the role for both parents. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the second speaker of the affirmative team. Next, I will call the second speaker from opposite team to give the rebuttal for the second argument of the affirmative team. Time is yours.
Good morning, Chairperson, opposition, and audience. I am Indah Puji as second speaker. The topics for today's debate is that this house would make fathers take paternity leave. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. The first speaker of the affirmative has tried to tell you leave from work makes that work productive and cuts health costs. This is wrong because if a father has taken time off to focus on his family when his wife has just given birth, it will have an impact on the family's finance as well. This is because the husband's income, which should have been paid in full when not taking leave, will be reduced by several percent due to the leave. Even though here the family finance are quite thin, because in the position after giving birth, both the child and mother will need more important items for the future. Their second point, he tried to tell you maternity leave is already listed in BKN. This is wrong because not infrequently a father prefers to work because to meet the needs after giving birth, which will cost quite a lot, both of the recovery of the mother after giving birth or for the needs of the child so that the child remains healthy and everything will be fulfilled if the father continues to work as usual. Their third point, we also tried to tell you paternity leave can help the wife mentally. It's not safe to leave babysitting to strangers. This is wrong because it's true that parenting would be better if taken care of by their own parents. Then are mother and father ready to take care of them independently? Meanwhile, if the mother and father are new parents in general, they do not have adequate knowledge to take care of it. Even though they are able, there will be questions about parenting or whatever to people who are more experienced in their field. One of which is an experienced and certified babysitter. Today I will talking about long-term negative effect on father career, losses for the company and a decrease in the income of the head of the family. My first point is long-term negative effect on father career. My research that support my argument is UN and Indonesia that will cut his salary to 18% or even get no salary at all from the company, then that will miss the opportunity to increase the answer. With the father of salary detective or not even getting a salary to miss an opportunity for promotion will result in the delay of a father career development and can reduce the family's finance so that the cost of caring for children will definitely decrease. My second point is losses of for the company and a decrease in the income of the head of the family. As we know, one of the countries that enforce paternity leave in the USA. USA has a minimum income of 7.25 or either 105,102.89 per hour. However, the minimum income of each country is very different. In Indonesia, Jakarta has 4.2 million per month. Given the different income of each country, it can be concluded that not all countries are suitable for implementing paternity leave. USA has a minimum income of 7.25 or 105,102.89 per hour, with an average expenditure of around 400 until 500 per week, 20,800 until 2,600 per year is now enough for most students to live in the US. The USA enforce paternity leave because they are able to cover passiveness of their worker and are even able to provide wages even though they get a 20% discount if paternity leave is implemented in Indonesia. Then don't expect the father to be able to meet the daily needs of his baby. It's not enough to have one job to support a family. So what if that used to take a vacation of approximately 12 weeks? Chairman, opposition and member of the audience. In conclusion, father will lose the opportunity for promotion to get a reduction in salary. Paternity leave also can be applied in countries only for development countries with a high average income, not for countries with low middle income residents.
Thanks for the second speaker of the opposite team. That's a good opinion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next I will call the third speaker of affirmative team to deliver the conclusion. Time is yours.
Good morning, Chairperson, opposition, and audience. I'm Amelia Zuhrotul Hanin as the third speaker. The topic for today's debate is that this house would make fathers take paternity leave. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. Summary of my first speaker. My first speaker spoke to you about paternity leave in general. Paternity leave is a period of time that a father is legally allowed to be away from his job so that he can spend time with his new baby. This argument based on what to expect website and the pregnancy paternity leave. Meanwhile, for the example of this argument is 9 out of 10 American dads to take some time off following the birth of a child. She also spoke to you about paternity leave in a company. Most of companies, especially in America, support the right of their employees to become parents, regardless of gender. The company has established policies to help new dads fulfill their new duties as parents. This argument based on workable website entitled Employer Paternity Leave Policy. Meanwhile, for the example of this argument is global accounting firm EY announced a new parental leave policy in July of this year. Mothers and fathers in US are eligible for up to 16 weeks of fully paid parental leave, explained Karen Toranite. The final point that she spoke to you about the purpose of paternity leave. The purpose is that a husband can provide support to his wife and has more time to take care of their children. This argument based on what to expect website entitled Pregnancy Paternity Leave. Meanwhile, for the example of this argument is, after giving birth, the mother physical condition cannot immediately recover and be strong. At this time, the husband can accompany his wife, help take care of the baby, and provide support more freely. Summary of our second speaker. Our second speaker spoke to you about the reason of fathers take paternity leave. Paternity gives fathers the opportunity to be primary caregivers and to recognize and appreciate the unique challenging of the roles for both parents. This argument based on what to expect website entitled Pregnancy Paternity Leave. Meanwhile, for the example of this argument is online marketplace eBay launched a new paternity leave policy on January of this year. The new policy offers new dads up to 12 weeks of paid paternity leave at 100% of the employee's base salary. He also spoke to you about the benefit of fathers on paternity leave. One of the things that is most clearly felt is that the presence of a father can provide full support for his wife before, during, and after giving birth. These are tough times for mothers, where they really need support from the closest to them, especially husband. This argument based on McKinsey website entitled Benefit Taking Paternity Leave. Meanwhile, for the example of this argument is Japan Minister of the Environment Shinjiro Koizumi is taking paternity leave because he understood the benefit of it. Chairman, opposition, and members of the audience, in conclusion, our team is strongly convinced that fathers must take paternity leave. This is not without reason because the benefits provided are more beneficial for the family. After all, there are many companies that provide opportunity for the fathers to get paternity leave, and this action has also been stipulated in the labor law.
Well, that's the conclusion of the affirmative team. Next, I will call the third speaker of the opposite team to deliver the conclusion. Time is yours.
Good morning, Chairperson, Opposition and audience. I'm Anita as a third speaker. The topic for today's debate is that this House would make fathers take paternity leave. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. Our first speaker spoke to you about paternity leave is a leave program for fathers who have just had a baby and have a bad impact. We thought from CNN with the title Debating Paternity Leave in Babysitting. She also spoke to you about the deadline inequality of a father's work. As we know, one of the countries that enforce paternity leave is USA. USA has a minimum income $7.25 or 105,102 rupiahs per hour. However, the minimum income of each country is very different. My second speaker spoke to you about long-term negative effect on father's career. Fathers will cut his salary to 20% or even get no salary at all from the company. Then father will miss the opportunity to increase the answer. She also spoke to you about losses for the company and a decrease in the income of the head of the family. USA has a minimum income $7.25 per hour, with an average expenditure of around $400 until $500 per week. Per year is enough for most students to live in the USA. The USA enforce paternity leave because they are able to cover the passiveness of their workers and are even able to provide wages even though they get a 20% discount. Chairman, opposition, and members of the audience, in conclusion, our team is strongly convinced that paternity leave is not fully implemented effectively. Child care is left to the mother, and the father's role is when he finishes work. The impact given if the fathers in on 20 weeks leave in the risk of disgracing performance in the office, which will cause a decrease in the quality of its human resources. Not all countries can carry out paternity leave because the minimum and maximum income in each country is different.
Well, thanks for the conclusion from the third speaker of the opposite team. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all our debate today. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.